I'm wondering, did you know that you can recycle those sturdy Amazon delivery bags into custom fabric covered junk journals? Well, today we are going to turn trash into treasure and create a beautiful personalized journal together. So join me as we transform this everyday item into a stunning piece of art. Hey everyone, today I'm going to upcycle an everyday item. I'm sure you get a lot of these because if you're like me, you order from Amazon all the time. We're going to turn that into a stunning piece of art, and we're going to make a junk journal that's made from this Amazon delivery bag. So we're going to add a fabric cover today, and I'm going to do something different than I've done before. I've added a spine, and I think this is going to help me have not a gator mouth junk journal, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment, okay? I'm going to be sharing tips and tricks on how you can create this and how then you can use it for junk journaling, scrapbooking, or any other creative project that you want. Plus, I want to show you 4 other fabric covered journals that I've already made, and hopefully this will inspire your own creativity, and I get to tell you things I would do differently. So let's start with the 4 examples that I have. This is the first fabric journal that I made. This I made in January of this year. This was for Junk Journal January, which Meg at Junk Journals leads that every January and every July. So in January, I heard about her. I'd never done it before, and I thought that would be so much fun. So what I did was I used one of the plastic Amazon bags that they had, and I covered it with fabric, okay? And then I made a gigantic signature. Now, this is what I'm gonna tell you. And I added this flap, right? I sewed that in because my thought was this was gonna totally go over there and cover it. Well, you can tell that it didn't, because what I didn't plan on, and that's what we're going to do today, I'm going to use these thoughts and ideas, is that this would end up being a gator mouth, because I love to put lots of ephemera into my junk journals. And of course, that's just adds lots of space, right? Look at that. I love that. Was so much fun making that. And so what I would have done differently is I should have decided that I was going to have a spine, because this little flap doesn't really keep this closed. So let's close that one up real quick. That was my first junk journal, and I don't have a video on that, okay? Then the next one, the next one that I made was this beautiful junk journal, and this is covering a brown Amazon bag, as I did, with fabric on the cover, and then on the inside I used scrapbook paper. Now, I love this fabric tie on it, but you can tell why I don't like it right now. First of all, I probably need to trim it. It's too long. But look what happens. It gets caught every time. So I end up kind of not even tying a knot in it, because it's very frustrating. Anyway, same problem with this one, okay? But look at here. I actually did kind of have a spine, but it was only like a 1/2-inch spine. And again, Diane, I've now learned this. I love to add lots of stuff, right? So that's what you're seeing here, that it, again, is a gator mouth. So I'm not going to do the same thing today. I'm going to have a bigger spine is hopefully my goal. And then another one that I had done, let's see, do I have a video of this one? I don't have a video of this one. Isn't this fabric just stunning? Look at this. A good friend from England actually gave me this piece of fabric in a swap, and I loved it so much. Again, I was fairly new to junk journaling. Now this one is very, very tall, because I had a ton of 12 by 12 scrapbook papers left over, and I thought, well, I'll fold them all and put them in here. And of course, a lot of them were only one-sided. So I ended up gluing 2 12 by 12s together to put this one together. And again, you can see lots and lots of ephemera. And here we go. You see, I made this flap. Now this flap actually works better than the other one did. So I kind of, piggybacked on that idea. Again, this is fabric covering the plastic envelope. So I love how they're soft and crinkly, right? Okay, and this one, there is a video on how I made this junk journal. Now this is fabric on cardboard, so it's not on a junk mail envelope, but it's on cardboard. But I wanted to show you because it's really, my topic today is really fabric covered journals, okay? And this one, I did have a spine on this, and I did the pamphlet stitch in here. And that's a huge stretch for me. I'm really not, I force myself to do pamphlet stitches. I find them just to be so difficult. Now this is actually a Bible study junk journal that I did, and I wrote the study. It's called Truths and Promises, the 10 Truths and Promises of God. So this digital kit is in my shop. And what I did here was I just cut the fabric exactly the same size as the cardboard, and then I stitched on my sewing machine and made that. Okay, so look at all I just love the color scheme in this journal, and the Bible study is phenomenal. If you want to do one and really understand God's truths and how those promises can really transform your life, this is the study to do. Okay, so that's a video. There's a whole video on that, and it's linked right here in the video and in the description. Okay, so let's look at what I'm going to do today. As I said, we are going to take this the brown paper bag from Amazon. I think I should probably glue the insides of this. Let's do that. It's going to get covered, but sometimes just having it glued down. And it does have a little bit of padding in it, and it's crinkly sounding. So from a feeling point, it's really cool, and the sound. And I've pulled out this fabric. This is what I've decided to do. Now, I have to tell you the fun story about this fabric. Isn't this just gorgeous? Can you see? This is actually additional fabric sewn onto here. Guess where I found this fabric? I was in it wasn't a Salvation Army. It was a resale store. This was a skirt. It was a gathered waist short skirt. And when I saw the fabric, it was $3 for the skirt. And I knew I could get like probably 2 yards out of there for $3. So I love that it's all textural. So that's what I'm going to use today. That's going to be my cover. Then on the inside, I pulled this piece of fabric out because I thought it would coordinate. And I wanted to do kind of a lacy, vintagey style. And so that's what we're going to put on the inside. And I'm going to sew the edges. And then I pulled this out of my stash. This is what I'm going to use to tie. And I'm not going to make it real long like that other journal. This is velvet ribbon. So let's get started on this. I'm going to try and show you every step, but I don't want the video to be really long. So today, this video is kind of an introduction. I'm going to be making this journal, and then you're going to see over the next week or so that there will be follow-up videos working in this junk journal. I'm going to show you how to add, how to choose papers and how to add the signature. And then I'm going to start teaching you all the fun ephemera that I've shown you in my other kits, how we can add it to this kit. Okay, so how do we start? What I did was I cut this, because these bags are much bigger, right? What I decided to do is that when you have a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, and if you turn it to the side, typically you get like 5.5 inches on a folded pieces of paper, right? So I left 6 inches on both sides of a 1.5 inch spine. So what is my spine? I just took a piece of cardboard out of a cracker box and just cut it, and I glued it on both sides. And then I took my metal ruler and just kind of folded into it so that there's a nice crease there. And why is Diane adding 1.5 inches? Because as you can see from my other ones, I already know this is going to end up being big and fat, and that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue that on, this back piece on. So it doesn't matter which side it's going to be. So I'm going to show you. Oh, I'm going to use some of this glue, but basically what am I going to do is I'm going to use fabric tack. Okay, because I think that's the best glue to use. So I'm going to show you me sewing it on my sewing machine. And so there will be little breaks because my sewing machine is across the room. I can't really bring it over here to where I do all my videoing. It's my video table. And so I have to stop the video here. I have to take this, go over to my sewing machine, but luckily I have it already, and set up my camera, my phone over there. Oh, this is hard pulling this stuff out of here. So we're going to use fabric tack. And then I'm going to sew it. And when I sew it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew to the edge of the spine. I'm not going to sew the spine. So, okay. So let's take our fabric. And if you notice, I gave myself about 1.5 inches as an overlap all around. And let's turn it the other way now because it'll be easier for me to see. Of course, do I have it on here straight? No, because I'm flipping it all around. Let's do it that way. Okay, let's get this. Okay. And there we go. Okay, now, this fabric is fairly kind of transparent, so you're going to see some of these marks, but I don't really care. That's okay. So we're going to get that nice and glued. Now I'm going to turn it back over, and it'll be difficult to run my bone folder over because of that. And that glue is coming through the fabric, but that's okay. It ends up being okay. So there we go. Okay, we've got that pretty much glued down. So what I want to do is I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine and I am going to sew like that on both parts, right? And, oh no, wait, before I sew, I'm sorry, I want to fold this. Duh, Diane. I'm trying to go fast and I'm trying to think. And I'm not thinking is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we're going to pull this over there because we're going to wrap this. Okay, let me get some of my little clamps. I'm going to clamp it so it'll start to dry. And I'll just go ahead and put the glue on while I've got the glue in my hands. Okay, and we'll pull that over. There we go. And we'll pull this one up. There we go. So how many of you have actually used an Amazon bag and have covered it with fabric or paper? Which one have you done? Love to hear that in the comments. There we go. Okay, so now, oh, that looks like it's sticking. Okay, so now we're going to roll this up here. And I'm going to put some Prit on here because I'm going to sew this. It doesn't, and maybe I don't need so much of that wet glue. So let's put some, yeah, see the Prit. This fabric is a very thin cotton fabric. So I guess I could have totally used my Prit on here. So we're going to get that up there. Let's put some there. Okay, we'll turn it this way. So I love fabric covered journals. I have 2 giant bins of fabric. As I said, this one is just, I'm excited that I'm actually stopping and going to make something out of this fabric because I was so excited when I found the skirt and thought about that. My girlfriend was like, what are you going to do with that? And I said, oh, I'm going to cover it. I'm going to use it as fabric to make a journal. So hopefully it's going to be as pretty in real life as it is in my brain, right? Okay, we got that glued. And then we're going to glue this part. think that will work. Pretty sure that's gonna work. Now I don't like how this got messy. It's kind of like chunky over here. So let's get that down better. That one's nice. Okay, that one looks good and that one looks good. Okay, I'm going to stop the video, as I said, because I'm going to go over to the sewing machine now. We are back from the sewing machine. Now, I realized once I came back to my desk that I probably should have put this on there and sewn over it, but I didn't, so it's okay. So I've cut, and look what I just did. Okay, I'm so smart, Diane. I just put it down. Oh, you want to put it upside down. There we go. I'm glad I just showed you that. So I'm going to use some glitter glue on this because this is really good glue. And we're going to lay it down, and because it's got a wrong side and a good side, I wanted to start with that one. Okay, that's good. So let's add the other one. And again, I will do it correct that time, right? Yeah, okay. What I've done is I've laid my ruler, or I could be using the gray mat, but anyway. And I've come like to the approximately the halfway point. Why does that feel like it's much lower? Well, on this side, it's going to be right there. Okay, and we're going to put some glitter glue before we're going to glue it down before we glue the inside fabric. Okay, so we'll push that down. And we are all set there. And now, before I put my inside fabric, I want to look around and see if there's any kind of bulging spots. And this would be a spot that's kind of bulging. So I think what I'm going to do is trim this because I don't really need it now. There we go. That's much better. It's funny, just that one corner did that. The others were okay. And let's see, how does this fabric go? I guess it goes either way. So what I've done on this piece of fabric is, it's a cotton. And so I've measured it, and I wanted it just to be, I don't really measure stuff. I do eyeballing a lot, okay? So I eyeballed it, and I've got it just inside the edge all the way around. And how I did that was just by eyeballing it and tearing the fabric. So I like that it's, a little bit frayed. That just makes it a little bit kind of fun and grungy. So let's see if this big one is going to work with the big we'll see. I haven't used it in a while. Let me see if this is going to work. And if not, I'm just going to take the lid off. No, well, it probably is not going to work because that didn't work very well. Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to use glitter glue because I think it works. I don't know. Everybody loves this fabric tack, and I'm not that hot on it. I'm not sure. Is it going to come out? Oh, it is. Oh, yes. Okay. Of course, it's going to take forever. So let's go ahead and just open it and pour it on here. There we go. That's much better. You know what? That's going to be much better. Seems like I did too much, but it'll be okay. Let's see if I have a brush over here. Oh, I used to. Hold on. I have a paintbrush right here. Yeah, this is much better doing it this way than my squeezing it and getting my fingers and hands all numbed up, which is not what I want to do. Now see, as we're doing this, I need more glue. So it might have looked like I put a lot of glue out, but I guess I didn't really. So let's go ahead. Luckily, I have another refill. I got a big refill bottle, so we'll be okay. So let's get all this nice and glued. And the reason I use glitter glue versus just, you know, white pasty glue that you get for kids is because it has less water in it. And that's why it's a more powerful glue. Just like the glue stick has less water in it. And so it's a very powerful glue also. So let's get this all over here. Pour a little bit more. See if that's going to work. I'm probably going to have to go around the edge of the fabric and make sure I went down far enough. But at least I know that we're getting the background put together well, that it will be really nice and glued down. Okay. Do we cover everything? It feels like I did. Well, the time is coming. We'll see. Let's put this on there, put this on there. And here we go. So is that in the right spot? I guess I could have ironed out the fold line, but look, just when it's being glued down, you can pull the iron mark out, right? There we go. Oh, I wish you could feel this. It's fun. It's got some texture to it, and that's the fun part. Okay, now I'm going to take the pointy one and we'll go around the whole edge. Make sure that I got that all glued down. And then we will be finished for today. As I said, I will be making more videos using this junk journal that we just made. And I'm going to start a series. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but I want to do a series for those of you who like to learn new techniques, how to make certain kinds of ephemera. And maybe some of the ephemera that I make, you've never made before, so it might be new to you, and that would be fun. So that's what I thought this series would be, is to show you how the kind of ephemera that I make, and we'll make it, and then you can come along beside me, and hopefully you're making a journal, or you have a journal already that you want to add to, so that'll work, right? It'll kind of be like, there's a couple women that I follow, Hither and Yon. I really like her a lot. She does the big book, is that what it's called? And she probably once a week does a video of adding some ephemera. So I'll probably be doing at least 1 or 2 a week, and we'll see how that goes. Plus, the other thing that's different for me is you will see that yes, we are going to make ephemera, okay, and we are going to make this a gorgeous junk journal. And I'm also going to start teaching you how to add your faith to a junk journal, because all these junk journals that I've shown you, you might have just, as I flashed through, might have just seen, oh, isn't that pretty? Oh, that's a pretty ephemera. But what you didn't see is the words and the things like that. They have faith. So it's a faith junk journal. So you can tune in, whether you want to add your faith or not, that's up to you. But you can tune in to get cool techniques from me. That's why I hope you'll tune in. For all my new subscribers, of which there are so many, thank you. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for all the wonderful feedback that I have gotten. And in fact, it's kind of a miracle story and a blessing from God, because I published last Wednesday, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, a video about 11 ways to use paper bags. And when I posted that, I had 751 subscribers. And I have been working very hard this year to make, I have over 231 videos, making videos and trying to, you know, reach people. And wow, YouTube, all my people that are following me, they pushed it out. And so all these people started saying, oh, you just showed up on my channel. So they're junk journalers. So they're the people that I'm trying to reach. And as of today, 4 days later, I have almost 1,500 people. So it's amazing when that happens, because that's been my prayer to God for this entire year, that he would use me to reach junk journalers and talk about. My main point is that it's great to junk journal. I am not saying don't junk journal, but what I do say is, why don't you junk journal and spend time with God at the same time? Because we spend a lot of time and energy and money making junk journals, and God really wants to be with us. Oh, I could have folded it over and looked, but that's close enough. Look, oh, I'm so happy. I love this fabric. That was a skirt. Isn't that cute? And then that's what it's going to be. So we have the spine, which is great. I'm just going to put the little groove back in there again on both sides. And this junk journal, of course, we're going to let it dry with all that glue. This junk journal is ready to start getting signatures. So I'm not sure how many I'm going to make. I'll do at least 2, because look how nice and wide. I've got a nice spine in this. Maybe 3. And then obviously we're going to add some things. So all of that will be in my upcoming videos. And I hope that you will like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't before. And then I always want to ask you a question. Here's what I'd love for you to comment in the comment section. Have you ever made a fabric covered junk journal? Yes, no. What did you find was easy and what was difficult? So hopefully, I'd love to hear your experience with junk journaling using fabric, and maybe even, did you recycle a bag like an Amazon bag? That would be really fun to know. So thank you, and I will see you in the next video. As I said, we're going to be adding more parts to our junk journal.